Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a Veve OMI update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If not, welcome back. I love y'all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon, smashing that super thanks button down below, and become a member and join Patreon and RayThax.dth domain name. So we do have a couple of things to go over here. One, we'll just start with OMI. OMI doing not too great on the day, down about 3.3%. We did have a little bit more volume, so a bunch of people probably had gone and had their buy orders filled. There was a whale that I spoke to yesterday that had purchased a little bit of OMI, getting himself up to 150 million, so congrats to him on that. That's why we did pump a little bit yesterday. You saw those green candles. I think he did it in 3 orders, and then obviously today it dumped back down again, down 3.3%. But I think compared to everything else this weekend, I'm not 100% sure it actually did that bad. Yeah, it actually did outperform Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is down 3.9, 3.4% respectively. Outperformed XRP, Cardano, Lido, Dogecoin, Polygon. Pretty much outperformed everything on the top 20, with the exception of Tron, which is only down 1.8%. So yeah, actually not too bad compared to everything else. I will probably try to buy another million. Listen, guys, I just spent like another 5 million OMI the last week. So, I purchased another of that, so I don't know if I can do one this week. We are supposed to have the Marvel Mighties. I'll get into that in a little bit while we haven't gotten an announcement for that yet. So yeah, we'll start off with, we had yesterday for Lambo another 270,000 gems purchased just in one day. So this kind of goes in line with we've had consistently a million gems per week now, at least on average we've been higher. We've missed it since, I think, most of April. We didn't have that. We always had like 700,000 or 800,000 gems purchased per week, but finally over the last week we've had it at over a million, and it looks like this week we're going to be over a million as well. Just looking at the Lambo drop for that. Anyway, in case you missed it, I had the hot dog people on yesterday, or the hot dog cart people on yesterday, and somebody had asked, oh, hey, are you going to have any utility for gold logo holders? And they actually will. If you are in South New Jersey and you happen to stumble upon a hot dog cart people stand, you do get 1 free hot dog per visit. So you can do it per day. You can, if you live on, you can go every day and you can get a free hot dog. I don't know how that's going to be working for your health. Definitely go and consult your doctor about what it's going to be like to eat hot dogs every day. But yes, you will get one free every single day. Again, that's if you do hold the gold and silver Veve logo. Speaking of which, if you do have that and you are interested in getting beta access to Tengo Kusenso game, there are 23 access codes that Eagle Eyes is giving away. Just connect your crypto wallet to tengokusenso.com, create an account, and again, shoot him a message on the Discord if you have a Veve gold and silver logo. Again, shout out to my man, the Modern Investor, for agreeing to come on the podcast. I had a bunch of people ask me when the date for that is. I'm not 100% sure. Ideally, I would like to wait up until that loyalty article comes out. We should hopefully get that within the next couple weeks. They didn't want to do it in the beginning of May just because there are so many things going on. We had a Star Wars drop. We had the crafting beginning, and I have a theory why we don't have the Marvel Mighties out is because, again, when the crafting was supposed to happen on Saturday, things got kind of messed up a little bit. They had to delay it 24 hours to Sunday, and then it wasn't working again. So luckily they fixed that within the first, I think, like 3.5 hours. It got fixed just in time for the Lambo drop. Now things are back on track. We do have a few comics this week. We have one, which is the first appearance of Rocket that does appear on Tuesday. That'll be really great. That's 10,000 copies at 7 gems each. The next one we have on Thursday is the first appearance of Franklin Richards. That is Sue Storm and Reed Richards' kid. That is one of the most powerful beings in Marvel Comics, like ever. Like, no joke. Absolute Omega level person. I wouldn't say a mutant, but just Omega level person right there. Anyway, so Veve Viral made a post today saying, this past week there were over 1.8 million gems sold on Veve Official. It's quite a lot. If 20% of this did come from crypto pay-in, that would have mean over $100,000 worth of OMI would have burned this week from a Comey just because of the gem pool. That being said, we do not have that crypto pay-in. We did have an update from Wire, and Wire had gone on and said, oh, hey, listen, we are going to get, they're trying as best as they can, but Veve had gone on and said that, hey, we're going to go and we have another payment provider. It will take a little bit of time, but we should get cash out to everyone that's not in the US, just because the US already has that. So if you're in European or any other country, hopefully that'll come within the next couple months. You have that light at the end of the tunnel. They'll keep us updated as that goes on. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because again, I'll go over that as soon as it comes out. But yeah, they don't have the crypto pay in right now. That crypto pay in is paused just because Wire is kind of dealing with a whole bunch of things. Banks are collapsing everywhere. So that's really not on Wire's priority list as much as it is for other things for right now. Speaking of VV Viral, he said, woot woot, up to 25% of a Bitcoin today at an average price of around 25,000, aiming for 50% of a Bitcoin by the end of the month, and then finally becoming a whole Bitcoin owner next month. He says, and yes, as soon as that is checked off, I'm coming for some more OMI, getting in before utility, deflation, and exchanges. So VV Viral believes that OMI probably won't take off until at some point later this year, at least until July minimum. And I'm not gonna lie, I'd be remiss to say like, no, he's wrong. Like I said, I don't think we see a significant improvement until we get some type of utility, and then we can get on exchanges afterwards. Again, the utility is really one of the things that we do need, because once that happens, everything else falls into place. You can market, you can get exchanges, and then there's constant buy pressure on the token. And I'm not saying that it can't go up before then. You could have whales every now and then that just go in, scoop up the supply. But again, be advised, because there's such low liquidity, there's not a lot of reason for whales to come in and drop 500 grand or 100 grand, just because, again, they would have to constantly put in their buy orders, constantly wait, or constantly try to buy the sell orders, thus increasing the price. They really have to wait for a little bit more liquidity for that to happen. Anyway, moving on. And Rhys was in Telegram before, just addressing a couple things, saying that the priority, again, talking about Wire, is on payout, adding new providers, then they'll look at the pay-in side of things again. So the crypto pay-in is going to happen after we have just normal payout for everyone. Says also, just so you know, you can usually contact a mod or team in the VV Discord in the OMI channels as well if you spend time. If you spend time there or have any questions like that, no guarantees on an answer, but I can be contacted across platforms by someone most of the time. Please don't bug Reese as much as as often as you want. Only if you have a super duper crazy question. Somebody says, nice to see you. Reese says, nice to see you too. I might not make it in here very often at the moment, but it's because there's always plenty of work happening in the background. Love to hear that. He says, hope the crafting burning mechanic didn't cause too many issues for people over the weekend. I know it didn't come off exactly as planned, never does, but it's another big step on the platform, and now we wait to see what happens with the gauntlet next week. Ha 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 ha. So I asked, hey Reese, when are we getting more mighties, or when are we getting the article for more mighties? And he's like, are we dropping more mighties? Oh, he's so cute. And I said, of course we are. He says, yep, it'll be. He does say, listen, that's going to be something that's going to be for a question for Alex. So I'd bug him about that. Be advised, do not bug Alex. It's just going to come when it comes. I don't think Alex has any control on when articles drop. If they tell him it's going to be delayed or whatever, for whatever reason, just don't bug Alex about that. So they were talking about to make the gem pool traceable. VV Viral had said, are they going to make the gem pool publicly traceable soon? I can see this elevating the community sentiment as we cheer on the daily growth and eventual token burn with each new VV drop. Reese says, yep, it will be traceable on the OMI token tracker page, but right now there's nothing going into it because crypto pay-in had been paused. Moving on. People were asking about MCP and OUP and when articles and all that, and Reese had said MCP has already started. I think the public rollout is complete and being stabilized, so you should have your point balance, level, rank displaying your in your profile. The only reason why you wouldn't is if you didn't KYC. They only did it for KYC accounts. So the next stage of it will be spending those points for items in the app. You're going to need the waitlist for that, but that should come in Q3. For OMI, we'll be releasing more info on the tie-ins and token utilities with the Master Collector program, which we refer to as the VV Loyalty program, but in the app for users, it'll just be called the MCP, as it's all one system moving forward. Moving on. Somebody goes and asks, gems should have been OMI the whole time and the price will rise, and I guess that's technically true. Be advised, I'll read Reese's answer in a second. People that don't want gems and they just want OMI on there, most people in the world do not have crypto, much less OMI. There are 22,000 people that own OMI. That is not a lot. This would not be a very successful app if there was no way to onboard with just fiat, and if there was just OMI. That would not be good. Anyway, Reese's answer saying, that was part of the original design. You could swap OMI to gems and use them that way. But when the NFT bubble started and we had to rebuild everything, it wasn't viable anymore. But really, if there was no gem system, we couldn't have the app in the app stores, as they require all purchases to be an in-app purchase. So Veve wouldn't have seen anywhere near the level of success that it did from a user standpoint. But using OMI to buy NFTs is making a comeback with the token utilities and OUP, which I'm sure we're all very much looking forward to. One part that Reese left out is that, again, The tokenomics, the OG tokenomics, where you could use your OMI to buy gems, was created by a serial scammer that really just wanted to pump the token. And if we had done that, again, if you have gems, or if you have OMI, you want to buy the gems, the original tokenomics was all of that OMI that you used to buy those gems get burned. So Veve wouldn't have been making any revenue. The OMI price had gone to the freaking moon, jumped up like 15,000% in like 2 months. But again, Veve, if they would have continued that, they would have been bankrupt before they had ever just announced Marvel or Disney or whatever. Because again, if they're using their OMI and they're giving away gems and that OMI's being burned, Vivi's not making any revenue from that. So I just really wanted to add that on. Anyway, moving on. So Rhys is much nicer than I am. Somebody had asked, Rhys, finally answer this, please. Why are you dumping your OMI? Why you're dumping your billions of OMI tokens? They worded that weird, and killing the price. And why even in mid 2023 isn't OMI on more exchanges? And like I said, Rhys is much nicer than I am. I would have told this person where to go, but Rhys had answered. He says, I wish I had billions of tokens, haha. This is an open market with tens of thousands of participants, day traders, swing traders, short-term and long-term investors, exchanges, market makers, etc. No one controls the price, but until there's real demand for the token and more liquidity, price movements will always be volatile and retail investors always capitulate the lows. It's all just part of the crypto market cycle. Even the big dogs like Bitcoin and ETH had gone down 80 to 85%. They usually do that. Exchanges are part of the product rollout strategy. I'm as frustrated as everyone else that it hasn't happened yet, but now that Mitch and Nestor have restructured and expanded our teams, we have a dedicated blockchain team to build all the infrastructure and integrations we need. With that, we can create that sustainable demand and use for the token, which in turn makes it easier to list on exchanges as we can show a solid user base and adoption metrics alongside utilities. And again, people are just saying, okay, well, why can Pepe go and get listed as a 3-week-old token? Be advised, Pepe had about 100,000 holders, and the volume was like close to $1 billion. Veve's volume is very, very low. So if you really want it to go and get listed, get it to have 100,000 holders. Get like $1 billion in volume. If you can do that, then by all means, we should be able to. Another question saying, hi Reese, do you have a rough timeline of when you guys will be showing us the new Master Collector program? Thanks. He says, not yet, amigo. I thought we would have released by now, but everyone's hands were full with the Marvel Gauntlet development. I'll sync with Mitch midweek and get an update, though, and it's likely we'll release a basic outline and info on the Veve blog so people can see the general direction, and then add more details and tutorials as each feature is closer to being released. I agree with you there. So our next question is for Reese, saying, using OMI directly in the app would be correct. The price of the token also falls due to the situation in the market as a whole, but it would not be so low if OMI had an application. Unfortunately, many investors are disappointed and have lost hope in the project. In 2021, you showed yourself perfectly. It's a pity that you didn't apply OMI then. It's a pity that you didn't launch OMI on no exchanges then. Reese goes respond in kind, saying, I agree with you there. At least there would have been demand outside of speculation, which is most of crypto at this point in time. OMI really hit the spotlight when the NFT hype cycle began in early 2021, but it really wasn't ready for prime time at that point, and the massive user adoption changed literally out of our plans. I feel like we spent 18 months just trying to re-engineer the whole app while launching a ton of new brands at the same time. But things are turning around, development is really cranking now, and new features and updates hitting the platform all the time. The UI UX has been cleaned up too, so it won't be too long again before we're all talking OMI. Plus, we have such a strong user base on Veve now, which was always a thing that would make the difference for OMI long term. So once people see the loyalty and MCP plans, I think they'll be content knowing that there are incentives on both sides of the house. You've already seen the utility plans anyway, so this is really just how they all tie things together. Someone mentioned Arbitrum, so he says, yeah, Arbitrum has been live for more than a year before they launched their token, and the volume on their network actually exceeded that of Ethereum on some days, so there was just a lot of interest in actual users there, which is what exchanges look for. And the airdrop makes it easy to distribute their tokens and get listed as it's fully decentralized and had a lot of hype about it. In saying that, the price has still dumped as it always does with airdrops. Same deal with SUI, that's SUI, except they had a lot of VC funding, which makes it easier to market and advertise, but usually means that there are a lot of token unlocks to hit the market at some point, and they're brand new, so although there's some talk about them, there's no actual users or adoption, which will lead to the token selling off. So be advised with us. This is why I really like the token as well. There are no more token unlocks. I don't think there's going to be any crazy dumping because of the token unlocks, because again, there are none. So moving on. Also, Veve themselves did tweet about payout, saying the loss of international payout options has been a wide-reaching issue across our industry. However, we are pleased to report that we are in the process of securing an additional payout options with a new partner. While this process will take some time, we want to reaffirm our commitment to restoring payout for all collectors. We understand the current situation is less than ideal and will aim to provide more updates in the process firms up. Thanks again for your continued patience. The Dope Brian was also in Spaces before, and he was just talking about how, hey, there's articles coming. Rhys wasn't lying. Like, we're actually going to have that at some point. Again, I would think they would have to do that probably middle of the month after the airdrops of Thanos, after the gauntlets, and all that jazz. Speaking of which, this is the longest we've had to wait after a Marvel movie in order to get Marvel Mighties. They still haven't announced it yet. There's nothing scheduled for Wednesday. On Tuesday, we have a comic. On Thursday, we have a comic. Nothing scheduled for today. Obviously, nothing scheduled for Wednesday. So I think it probably should have gone in on Wednesday. They just had to delay it for whatever reason. I'll keep you guys posted on that. Anyway, that's it for me. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashie. Bye-bye, Dashie. I love you. Bye, guys. Meow, 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 meow.